Meltdown in Amsterdam forced KLM to leave passengers in 42 cities behind. Easyjet is cancelling 80 flights. Nürnberger Airport got a shitstorm because they left luggage behind. And Micheal O'Leary suggests military to help in the security lines at airports. My name is Lars. I'm here to bring you more miles, more points, more status. Let me tell you that we have a meetup. Yes, we have even 3 meetups. One meetup is in Munich on the 11th. On the 12th we are in Berlin, and on the 13th we are in Hamburg. In the show notes you will find all the details. If you want, and if you do not want, especially to miss your daily dose of more miles, more points and more status, subscribe. Hit the notification button, the bell, comment and leave us a like. Thank you for doing so. The Dutch airline KLM has big problems with the airport in Amsterdam. Amsterdam Schiphol, like the Dutch say. On Saturday they left 42 flights empty coming back home from different cities in Europe. What happened in Amsterdam, there was a meltdown. They were not able to do anything with the passengers because it was dangerously overcrowded at their home base and hub airport. Then you can calculate yourself. Let's say it's only 150 seats, 42 aircrafts. Do the math, everybody is entitled to 250 euros plus hotel, plus, then it goes into the millions. That is unbelievable. The airline had already prepared for this busy weekend and they knew that it will be chaotic because they stopped selling tickets on short notice. Then what they did was that they cancelled flights, but even that was not enough to avoid this nightmare. The Monday holidays, it triggered a lot of people to come to the Netherlands and to have a holiday because it's a longer holiday from Friday to Tuesday. So the people are, of course, improving their workload and say, hey, I go for a vacation. So the next problem they hit in Amsterdam was unfavorable weather. Schiphol Airport suddenly and unexpectedly announced it had to carry out urgent repairs of one of the runways. But that is not resting very well with me, and I have to say, I don't believe it, because how can it be that an empty aircraft can go back, but not the passenger aircraft? I mean, if they have no capacity for the runways or the weather, then you cannot land with an empty or a full aircraft. So there's something wrong in my opinion. Comment down if you are thinking the same, or if you say, hey Lars, you are wrong. I'm happy to learn, so do not hesitate. It is incredibly unfortunate that on the top of everything else today, we are also dealing with reduced runway capacity at Schiphol as a result of unfavorable winds and runway maintenance, said KLM's Chief Operating Officer René de Groot. Despite intervening earlier to ensure workable operations this weekend, today has been another extremely difficult day for our passengers and crews. Hey, I can tell you that was a nightmare. And they call it a far-reaching decision to stop bringing any more inbound passengers to the airport from European destinations in order to avoid the overcrowding of the airport. I have to fight to tell, listen, that is BS. Because that is something which is, again, I say it, if the aircraft is full or empty, it cannot land. So doesn't matter. But the overcrowding, that is something I can understand. So anyways, let us see how this goes on, and I will give you a quick update what happened to the stranded passengers later. Easyjet cancelled 80 flights this Sunday. The budget carrier had to scale down the operation due to airport staff shortage. Is this something we didn't hear before? Airports and so on, and that was a real problem. And it is chaos in whole Europe. All the airlines are struggling, and even in Berlin, EasyJet cancelled flights and left passengers stranded, leaving even Berlin as an airport itself. They're reducing the aircrafts they are having stationed there. But this is something which doesn't come unexpectedly. This weekend is every year that you have Pentecost and that the people are traveling a lot. And especially after COVID, it's a well-known fact that people are traveling more. And they cut this way 80 flights. The other thing is, of course, that in Britain, they had the 4-day platinum jubilee of the Queen, which were, she's 70 years in power. So you knew that this is happening. I mean, they say we are sorry and fully understand the disruption this will have caused for our customers, adding that that they were doing everything to ensure that the passengers reach the destination. And they cancelled already the flight. But is this not the story we had with KLM? We have everywhere. And that is something which for me doesn't work very well. I have to say, sorry people, that is 100% an F up on your side. You have to do it. The BBC cites data from Airline UK, the industry body for airlines registered in the UK, which said that the airlines have cut more than 30,000 jobs. Maybe that is something, the reason. 74,000 people in 2019 were employed. And because a lot of passengers didn't think that they will not fly. They just said, we want to fly, we want out, we want to get away. So this is what's happened. And of course, they're taking new measures, but UK is extremely struggling because of the post-Brexit immigration rules. And given the European aviation workers especially need special visas to ease the airport problems. And that is something which is not so easily solved. I told you about the Germans who said that they want to have guest workers, Gastarbeiter is the German word for it, to help. But what do you do in Britain? I mean, they can do the same. They can ease it. It's they just click the box and say easier. So what is your opinion on it? Nürnberger Airport. That is a story which I have to bring you as well. There was a problem with luggage. You check in your luggage and you think it's coming on your aircraft, but when you land, you realize it's not there. And it's not only you, it's for all of your passengers on board, for your fellow ones. And that is the problem. So at the end of the day, the machine, the baggage system, the baggage sorting was broken in Nürnberg, so they couldn't make it. The airlines decided to go, but a lot of passengers didn't have their toothbrush, clothes, medicine and stuff like that. Medicine is something where I have to say, sorry people, that is not something for checked-in luggage that you have to have always handy in your hand luggage. Because what happens if the luggage is lost? You don't have the medicine. And you can take more than the 100 ml through the security. So that is 100% on you. But what is not 100% on you is that the airport didn't notify the people before. They say on Facebook and in other groups that the airport was just doing normal business and they didn't know what they were expecting. So the airport could have told them, sorry, the baggage machine is broken. We cannot take your luggage. Take out what you need. Maybe you can leave things behind. That is even advice EasyJet gave or KLM gave to the customers. Please only travel with hand luggage. But again, that is something which doesn't sit well with me either. And of course, the people say that it's at the airport they are sorry and that is something they didn't anticipate before, blah, blah, blah. Of course, can happen, but be more upfront with the communication. Who is paying it? I mean, if I would be on Creta or on another destination, you would have to run to the airport to get your luggage or to wait until they deliver. It's 2 or 3 days in your vacation. That is something which is really spoiling it. What is your opinion? Should the airport have been more upfront during check-in, or how do they have to handle it in your opinion? Do you think that there's something they have to do now? And the other thing is, I cannot sue the airport because my contract is with the airline and the airline has a contract with the airport. So you see the problem. Airlines are dealing with it and the customers are dealing with it as well. The airport says, of course, that was a decision of the pilots to fly without the luggage. But in my opinion, you see, waiting for your comments. When you go further with the KLM situation, The KLM people started now to rebook and pick up the people. Yes, and it's not only that the people were coming from somewhere, Sweden, Germany, or wherever in Europe, to Amsterdam, to be in Amsterdam. They were connecting. And as you know, that long distance flights are not always flying daily. And when you see the news agency ANP, they have a journalist who was in one of the returned or one of the denied entry passengers, and she said she wanted to fly from Stockholm to Amsterdam, and it was chaotic, absolutely chaotic. She doesn't know how many passengers were having these problems, and KLM didn't say it either, but they gave a warning, of course, but now they have to return 42 full flights to Amsterdam and then put them in the system back. That is absolutely an F up. And I cannot tell you, if it would be me, I would sue their ass. And so it's not only the 250 I mentioned. If you are going somewhere overseas for a longer distance, it can be up to 600. But what is 600 euros in compensation if you lose vacation or you have other things? You know, with rental companies, you come too late, your rental is gone, and all this stuff. It is a nightmare. Ryanair says it's a nightmare as well. And who is Ryanair? Micheal O'Leary. Micheal O'Leary suggests military. He says we have so much travel chaos around the airport, and we want, yes, military to do the security. One thought about it, smart idea, because the people from the military are vetted for and they should be kind of trustworthy in my opinion. But they have to be trained as well. So it's not coming just with a snip of the fingers that they are coming back. Of course it is understaffing and everything, but the government has to make the job more attractive, and airports are already saying, okay, we are getting more people, we pay more, so to make the job more attractive to everyone. But this has to be done yesterday, not tomorrow. They say we want to do it to the summer, but excuse me, June? It cannot get much more summer than June, July, August. How do you get the understaffing handled in this time? It's big mess, nightmare. Comment about the idea, what you think about military checking your luggage. I don't know if they have the machine gun. Okay. Notebook, liquids, belt. I don't know. We had one comments on the German section that somebody said that the people, when they wear weapons, they have more power. Of course they have, and that the people stop discussing. Maybe that is one benefit, but looking forward to your comments. Ryanair. They make a questionnaire when you are flying from London somewhere, or to London or to Ireland, and it's so-called the South Africa fast test. Do you have any knowledge about the country code for South Africa? Do you know what is the highest mountain in South Africa? Do you know any other questions you could answer about South Africa? If you're not, you cannot fly. Actually, only if you have a South African passport. What they're doing is they're checking if the South African passports are not faked. They have a big problem with too many South African passports being faked from passengers who are traveling to Great Britain or to Ireland. Understood. But the problem is you have to fill it in. It's a paper you get. And they want you to fill it in Afrikaans. And that is the problem, Financial Times says. The Afrikaans is, they have in Africa 11 official languages. In South Africa, 11, I say it again, and Afrikaans is one. And the problem with the Afrikaans language is that this is the language of apartheid, of the colonial times, and so it is always a very bad connotation. There are other languages like Zulu and so on. I mean, would you speak 11 languages if you would live in a country where 11 original or official languages are? In Finland, we have one official language, Finnish and Swedish. So 5%, a little bit more, 5 to 6%, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in the one digit still, is the Swedish minority. but the rest doesn't necessarily speak Swedish. So the other way around, people who speak Swedish, most likely they speak Finnish, kind of, but you get my point. An airline which is underestimated is LOT Polish Airlines. Yeah, they are robust. They are, let's call it basic. But it's not a bad basic in my opinion. It is a basic which is an honest product. The seat is honest. It is a lie flat. It is wide. It is, of course, it's a 222, so you have not, every seat doesn't have an aisle access. The food is great and it's improved really. I can recommend it, especially in business class on the long haul flights. And the sweet spot is to fly with Polish Airlines from Budapest. The prices are low and new destination was opened, New York. They're flying to New York with a 787 Dreamliner. The flight was the inaugural flight to New York back in 2018, 4 years ago. And then, yeah, of course, COVID, but now it's back to business. And I can just recommend this flight, even the flight to Seoul. I can recommend the Seoul one I did myself. It is 1,596 two-way weekly seats. Rebuilding this long-haul flights remain high on their priority, so there will be more flights coming from Budapest. Have you been flying with LOT lately? How do you like the product? Comment, very important. IHG One Rewards Benefits. But what? When? When are we getting the benefits? It is so annoying. I have a booking in an Indigo hotel, and I said, listen, I'm a diamond, what are my benefits? Just to check, because of course I know from the scheme what I get, but there was nothing, there was blank. You get points, you get the voucher, and I say, yeah, but isn't it coming in June 1st, the rollout? Others said June 6th, but then the other question was, and that was the fun part, they said, no, we are unaware that anything is taking place except that they changed the names. So is this my job to train the people on the new program? I'm really looking forward to what is happening, and I hope that it was just one bad apple that I reached on the phone who is maybe not into this whole points business. And I have just to say that this is sounding again like a nightmare. What is your opinion? Do you think that the staff training should be better, that the people know the loyalty programs better than you do as the guest who's checking in, and that you do not have to make them remember what they have to do? I'm looking forward to your comment. Thank you so much, and do not forget, if you want to stay updated and don't miss your daily dose of more miles, more points, more status, subscribe, hit the ring or the bell. Ring the bell, that is what I wanted to say. Ring the bell button and comment and leave us a like. Thank you for doing so, and I wish you a lovely day and looking forward to see you tomorrow with the next episode of Frequent Traveler TV.